Obviously disappointed with the result. Um, a credit to Coach Sarkisian and the Texas team. They were a better team tonight and found a way to win. They separated early. I thought we battled back, showed a little fight in the second half. Just was too late by the time we synced up and made a run for it. Um, I've got a disappointed team. I think it's important that no different than when we celebrate games that we allow for time for this to hurt, because my team expected to win that game, and to come up short is unfortunate, but there's a lot for us to learn and a lot that we can apply forward from this exposure. To start, I think the tackling on the perimeter was disappointing. I thought we did a good job of creating vertical leverage in the secondary, but didn't create the vices underneath that we needed to down the ball, and just seemed like we were just off body on the checkdowns, meaning weren't able to get body-on-body contact. And so they got good players that when we weren't in the right position, they made us pay for it, and we absorbed a ton of passing yards with underneath throws that were able to get vertical. Felt defensively, obviously we created some turnovers that were helpful in our cause. I thought there was some disruption created, and I felt like in the second half we finally settled into our identity and played what I considered to be Vanderbilt football. It just took too long. So offensively, anytime we're not able to get a run game established, it's going to hurt our team. We weren't able to do that tonight. Credit to their defense. And then turning the ball over hurt us too. So we can't create extra possessions for the opponent. We were very clear on what our strategy is and what our formula to win is. We fell short of that tonight, and this is how it feels when you fall short. And the challenge is to understand that we learn from this outcome and we move forward, because we got 4 games left, and the next one's a great road challenge that we need to be ready for. And this team will be. I mean, it's a resilient bunch, but it's important that we reset ourselves and get focused on what we want here at the finish line. So with that, I'm happy to open up for questions.
On the 4th and 2, is that just a straight analytics decision, or you felt like that had a play that you really liked, or because
With 5 minutes, the last,
yeah.
No, I mean the book actually has you going a little more aggressively than I would have in that situation. I think had we reset at 4th and 5, it probably is a punt, and just play defense. Once it got to 2, it felt like two things. One is the analytics supported the decision, which does matter, but the thing you worry about is just how efficient they were offensively. We can't absorb yards in that moment and feel like we're going to have enough time to do what we need to do offensively. And I believe in our offense. It's 4th and 2. I believe in their ability to convert. And we obviously came up short, and that was unfortunate. But the decision was all about having enough time on the clock to try to win the game. And once you get it to 4th and 2, I think, for me, I'm betting on my offense, and we came up short.
The earlier 4th down, the call was that Skinner's shoulders weren't square. Did you see that, and what was their reasoning? Because you didn't seem happy with it.
I'm disappointed in that call, and there's a conversation to be had about it. He's on the line of scrimmage, and the explanation I got is that you can't be on the line of scrimmage and have your shoulders turned. So it was a moment for us to be aggressive. I thought it was a great play call and executed very well. And I hate to see, I hate it when officiating gets in the way of the game. And that's not any kind of statement, because those guys are doing exactly what they're told to do. But I'm anxious to have the conversation about what the point of emphasis was there, and also just to make sure that we know there's plenty of opportunities for us to know what they're seeing and what they're emphasizing for the officials to see. I mean, that play is not affected by Quincy Skinner's shoulders. So, to me, at that point, it feels like it's unfortunate. So, I'll have the conversations. I need to move on from it, but yeah, was disappointed in the call.
Diego, briefly went into the injury tent and came back. Did that affect any of the play calling? Is he good to go? What's his,
As far as I know, and we'll need to get assessment afterwards, and so I don't want to comment on. Obviously he finished the game out. He was banged up there and needed attention. I thought Nate came in and was able to do a good job and get a conversion, and but this is going to be Diego's the reality of him closing the season out. He's taken hits. He's played tough. I thought he was gutsy tonight in the way he led the offense at the end. And he's a fighter. And it's no surprise that he closed the game out. We'll see where he is tonight and tomorrow and plot a course forward. But as we stand right now, I don't foresee any time missed. I think he's a pretty resilient kid who's tough, and I think he's going to be okay.
Coach, can you talk about his grit? I mean, he's been injured before the season and he just keeps coming back out there. He seems to be able to, play with pain, but he seems to be able to take some hits and keep playing on for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a guy I have a ton of respect for, and he's a great tone setter in our program. There's a toughness there that, very few in my coaching career, I've seen exhibit. And you're just never going to count him out. And, I promise you, we're just looking for that onside kick, and you feel like putting the offense back out. We're going to have a great chance to close the game out, and it's not just about getting in field goal range at that point. So let's go score. We had our 2 timeouts left, but Diego's a special player, a special competitor, and we need to enjoy having him here for this final stretch because, I don't think that type of player comes around all the time.
You guys have turned it over at all throughout the early part of the year and turned it over a couple of times today. What did they do that challenged you in that way, and was there any poor execution on your end, you feel like?
Well, I'm gonna start by saying let's credit their defense for being opportunistic, and I thought they closed space really well. I thought they were physical at the finishes. That's always going to challenge your ball security. I think there are times where the ball got loose from our bodies, and so some of the tackles created the fumbles and that sort of thing. I think there was a deflected pass that was intercepted, and again, that's a situation where a good play by them, and we'll have to analyze the film on where we were going with the ball and what better we can do in that situation. But certainly we can't be in the business of turning the ball over, and I think we're going to look back at the game and say those early scores defensively where we were settling into the game and then turning the ball over in 3 and outs on offense, just took us out of our strategy and really put the result out of our reach. And, again, credit to our team to do everything they can and to fight, to make it tight in the end. But we can't be in the market to turn the ball over like that.
You've played every opponent close and you've been in every game. What does that say about, the identity of your team?
Well, I don't know that it says anything about the identity of our team. I think we have a good team that has to play a certain way to win, and we're interested in winning. And so we're not interested in coming up just short, just like, no one result defines the year. Again, it hasn't when we've won those games. It won't come up short in this one, but this team isn't interested in talking about playing people close. So, I know they'll fight. I got no question about their competitive spirit. I mean, I have such affection for this team, and if anything, in these moments, you know, you just, you know, I want to make sure they understand that, you know, that is a special group of people, and it's a special group of competitors. And as a coach, you just want to lift them up in these moments because there's so many things that we can do to find the margins in that game. And my belief is that we will moving forward. And I just got such a deep respect for our players and our coaching staff too. And we celebrate that, you know, when we win, but I'm going to celebrate that up here when I'm in pain because I don't take it for granted. I mean, you know, I've talked about, you know, teams of the past here that never quite synced up with a competitive identity that I felt like reflected, you know, my mentality. Well, this one does. That said, you know, we're never going to be interested in playing in close games. We want to win games, and there's more we can do to find a way to win that one.
Your offense has had so much success finding spaces, mismatches, things that teams didn't expect. What did they take away from you today, either with scheme or just their speed and athleticism that maybe wasn't available against the other teams you played?
From my vantage point, and again, this is, you know, we'll see the film, and I'll probably have a better answer for you on Tuesday. But there was length and speed. They closed spaces really well. You know, some of the option design. There's a play early to Eli that I felt like we had leverage on, and you know, we pitched the ball out to them, and they closed the space down. I think on the Q runs, I mean, it felt like we were, you know, at times inches away from getting a ripper, and you know, it's just them falling off a block, and so what could have been a 12-yard gain becomes a 5-yard gain. It's just, you know, and so what it forces you then into is you're snapping the ball over and over again, and when you do that against a disruptive defense, they're going to find ways to get you off schedule, and that's what they did. But you know, that's a well-coached team, and that's a good team. That's a talented team, and so they're going to make it hard. You know, we need to look at the film and figure out what was their formula for us, and how did it limit our ability to find the space, as you say, and find the leverage, and then you know, apply that learning forward, because we won't. There's not, you know, there's not a team on our schedule that remains that's not going to challenge us that way. So it's life in the SEC, and that's what we sign up for. But I would credit them for the way they played, credit their coaches, and then, you know, we'll look at it and say, hey, where can we be better on our end to find those inches that we need to be better.
5 targets for Stowers. How much of that is, you know, I don't know if they were keying in on him or something, or other factors. What did you think was going on there?
Well, you know, we weren't able to possess the ball quite like we wanted to. And so I always talk about, you know, like, especially in the passing game, you know, we unlock potential in that aspect of our offense the more that we can possess the ball and snap the ball. And so I don't have the numbers here in front of me, but obviously our third down performance wasn't good enough, and that was a place where we really struggled to maintain possession. And then, you know, just obviously losing the time of possession too. And then a number of 3 and outs, or at least a couple where we weren't able to generate possession to get him going. And you know, when he's in the play, I mean, you know, he's going to be a part of the progression, and obviously a guy that Diego loves to target. Defenses can do things to eliminate him or to take him away, but you know, he's a guy that will continue to feature in our offense, and weren't able to get him going tonight.
4 games left in the regular season. Clark, 4 more opportunities. You talked about cherishing the moments and the time with this specific team. What's your approach with these guys as you enter just the final quarter of the season?
Well, I mean, we're on the climb, you know, so we'll you know, we'll enjoy the time together, and what we're doing is fighting for more, you know. That doesn't change just because this game, you know. We've got to get back to work tomorrow. I got to find the formula for pushing into the prep that we need and the physical exertion needed to get them in the best possible place. and balance that with the awareness and understanding that it is the final quarter of the season. These guys have played a tough physical schedule, and they've played a tough physical brand of football, and I honor that. But it's not hard for me to celebrate my time with them and to enjoy them. And again, I'm heartbroken about not about coming up short. And I think I've said this before, but any time there's an issue, it's like the accountability starts with me. And if there's a problem, it's ever expanding concentric circles around my desk. And so I think about tonight, and I think about the things I could have done better, or maybe would do differently, and that's the first step of the learning. Tomorrow I get to share with them kind of the narrative that I see that formed around the game and what we can learn from it, and then we get to spend the time together and correcting it and putting a great plan against Auburn. So I'm disappointed, but I'm excited to see the guys again tomorrow and to keep at it.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks.